Hello, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Maria, and I just bought something that I have been waiting to purchase for literally 2 years, a freeze dryer. So today, I'm going to take you through a full tutorial behind the scenes of me actually setting this up and giving you a couple pointers and tips that I found online to make this setup just that much better for the long-term use of this product. So let's start off with just a couple key things about this item and where I was able to find it. If you don't know, this actually is sold a couple times a year at Costco. So what most people don't know is that freeze dryers are extremely expensive. I think it's on sale right now for $2,000. On a normal day, it's like $2,500. At Costco, I got it for $15.99. Yes, $15.99. With that being said, make sure to check your local Costco. I've noticed it's around January, December that they only have a very limited amount they put onto the floor. I called my Costco yesterday and was like, look, I know you had this in December. Do you happen to still have any in stock? And they're like, oh, we actually just got these in stock again. There's 10 left. And I was like, drop everything. Let me go get one. So I went and got one yesterday. The package is pretty large and heavy. So I asked Costco to help me load it into the car, and they were so gracious and wonderful. We ended up taking apart the 2 boxes so that it fit into my car perfectly, and it worked out amazing. If you don't own a truck, this is transportable via regular car. I wouldn't recommend like a regular trunk. We have a Subaru Outback, so it fit in perfect for that. A couple pointers and tips with picking a location. I thought that this was going to be perfect on the floor, and we were just gonna put it on the floor and it was gonna be fine. You may want to pick a location where it's actually on a table on some sort of wheels in case that location doesn't work out, because there is a drain line that you will have to drain after each use of the freeze dryer, and to just maximize the force of gravity, it helps to have it elevated and have the drain bucket below. So that's what will go down here, is our drain bucket. So I haven't actually turned this on yet, but I have watched videos to see how loud it's going to be on YouTube. It is somewhat noisy, so pick a location that it's going to be okay to run for 24 to 48 hours with a little noise. Some good ideas would be like a laundry room or a place in your house, maybe like a guest bedroom that you don't use all that often, but don't put it in your living room where you're gonna watch TV. That might be a little annoying. Let's get started, and I'm gonna show you guys everything that this comes with. All right, so I've just been slowly unpacking this box. It's quite the box. So in the box, we've gotten the freeze dryer itself, the main connection cables. This is the vacuum pump. We're gonna put oil in that right now, but that also comes with the machine. Some trays for freeze drying, your first set of Mylar bags, which you will need later. You get some oxygen absorbers, which go in the Mylar bags after your first batch. You also get an impulse sealer. We actually have the vacuum sealer at home because we preserve a lot of our food. We'll make an entire brisket, seal it up, and freeze it for a few months. I also have a vacuum chamber, which is a little different. Recently bought this one. It just makes the sealing process easier. So I might give this away to a friend, but if you don't have one, it comes in the starter kit, which is amazing. And then we have this, which is the oil filter. They give you an example of what clean oil looks like, dirty oil looks like, and how to filter it so that you can continue to reuse the oil, which is very helpful. So let's go ahead and open the pump, put our oil in, and then we'll get it set up. I'm gonna show you guys the lines really quick. Over here, this is actually the drain line. I already connected it, and it is in the open position when you see it like this. So we're gonna go ahead and close it. So now it is closed because it's perpendicular. When it's parallel, that means the line is open. That is actually the connector to the pump. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this real quick. It does say in the manual that you can just hand tighten it. If you wanna use pliers, you can. But this line comes to here, and this is going to be what connects it to the pump, which I'll probably lay right here on this table. But part of the reason why I picked this setup is because I could, in theory, this is our deep freezer or our additional freezer. I actually think I'm going to use this to freeze an additional batch and get it prepped while one is actually freezing. So let's get some scissors and we are going to open up this baby. Let's get this motor opened. Okay, Premier vacuum pump. Wow. Okay. So this is the oil that they give you to start with. It is 25 ounces of oil, and you can also buy refills on their website. Now for the pump. Oh my gosh, this thing's huge. Okay, so it actually gives you a vacuum owner's manual as well. Couple things to note is that some people were asking like, oh, can I just put this in my garage since it's loud? No, because the external temperature cannot be over 105 while you are using the freeze dryer. If it does, it avoids the warranty. So keep that in mind. This owner's manual goes over like how to fill the oil, where you want the fill line to be. Okay, it also talks about grounding methods for picking an outlet. Particular item, you want to have a dedicated outlet for this pump. Okay, let's go put it on. All right, so here's our pump. Here's the outlet that you put into the freeze dryer itself. Get the owner's manual. Okay, so I've got our owner's manual. Let's go ahead and start getting this set up. First, we need to put the oil into the motor. So let's go ahead and start that. Basically, you just take this top part off, and there is a little gauge where it's going to show us how much oil is actually in here. So you can see there's a minimum and a maximum, and there's no oil in there currently. So let's go ahead and fill this up. Why is it not going? Isn't this moving at all? All right, so I just read the owner's manual and I was concerned. I feel like I'm putting a lot of oil in and it's not lifting. It said that this comes with enough oil to fill it once. Hopefully we'll see it start to lift in a minute. Still not seeing it move. Oh, there it goes. I feel much better now. So we want to fill it up about 3/4 of the way. We don't want it to be at max, but we want it to be a little bit up there. Okay, so that step is done. And now what I'm gonna do is put this back on, make sure this is closed. This is how you drain the oil later on. And before connecting it to power, I went ahead and connected this line here to the freeze dryer itself. This is going to plug into the back of the freeze dryer. There's some specific instructions on making that connection that I wanna make sure I do correctly. It says when you use this pump, please make sure that the gas ballast switch is open. See image. We want to make sure that this is on O. Let me turn that. Okay. So it says, if the oil remains clear, you can change it every 20 to 30 batches. If the oil gets cloudy or looks dirty, change it immediately. It's more on draining. We've connected all the pieces. We want to make sure that this is closed. It is, the drain line. It says connect the vacuum power pump cord to the receptacle on the rear panel of the freeze dryer. Okay, so that's this cord. We're gonna take it, as SpongeBob would say, bring it around town. Yeah, it is all. Okay, connected. Now we can scoot it back. All right, next step. We've got the drain line closed. Ensure the acrylic door makes contact. Yes. All right, who's ready to turn this puppy on? Make sure the power switch on the vacuum pump is in the on position. Vacuum pump. It is in the on position. Make sure to close the drain valve. We will need a 5-gallon drain bucket in a minute. Ensure the acrylic door is closed. As described in previous steps, it's your responsibility to make sure you are now ready to start your first batch. Press start. All right, moment of truth. Let's see. Do I just turn it on? Where is the on button? Is it the back one? Okay, hold on. I'm scared. Okay, I found the on button. Here we go. It's turning on. Okay, took a couple seconds to turn on, so keep that in mind. This thing needs to get down to 32 degrees. In the meantime, I'm gonna go find a drain bucket. Let's go ahead and press start. Vacuum pump setup, here we go. I think we cooling vacuum chamber, wait 15 minutes before loading trays. Let's go find a drain bucket. I'm so excited. I was concerned about how loud this was going to be just because this is in the same area that our dog sleeps. So if it's louder than what our current freezer is, I'm gonna have to move it, but this really doesn't sound that bad. It's equivalent to our normal deep freezer. Anyway, this process of setting it up for the first time is a little stressful just because there's a lot of instructions, and this is obviously like a huge piece of machinery. It costs a lot of money. I wanna make sure I do it right. Highly recommend that you guys read through your owner's manual before getting it set up. I did review it about 2 times before actually moving forward with the setup. We're going to do what they call a bread run, and the bread run is where you run a couple pieces of bread through a first round cycle so that you can get any of that new manufacturing kind of scent out of the freeze dryer that you don't want in your food. So after the first bread run, I think I'm gonna freeze dry probably some garlic and make my own garlic powder. I saw online that this one family, really inspirational, they freeze dry almost everything. They froze their garlic cloves and made their own garlic powder, and they were talking about how it's just so much more potent than what you buy in the store that tastes like or feels really gritty and is not really that high quality. The amount of garlic powder that they actually use in their food was like a quarter of what you would use from the store-bought stuff. I'm just really excited to like experiment, try my own stuff. Last year I grew so much Thai basil in our garden and was not able to preserve a whole ton of it. One, because I was a little lazy and didn't harvest all of it before the freeze, but 2, I really was going at it at a need-be basis. So I had a plethora of Thai basil and was like giving it away to friends, using it in our cooking, but there was so much excess that I could have preserved it and kept it for years to come, and I missed out on that opportunity. Right now, I am making my dog's dog food in the Instapot because she is a Labradoodle and has a lot of health issues with her ears. She's allergic to chicken, she's allergic to peanut butter, so her vet has her on a very specific diet. So I'm actually going to experiment with freeze drying her food, and hopefully we can get to a place where we have a couple years of dog food freeze dried. I want you guys to hear this. This is the level of noise. It's not that bad. I feel like it's not any louder than the noise that our AC unit makes that's literally right outside this window. That's loud outside, but when you hear it on the inside, it's not that loud. All right, I gotta move this freezer now. Wish me luck. I'll report back once this is done. We'll do our bread run, and then I'll show you guys the results. So it's been 15 minutes. It says load tray into freeze dryer, close drain valve. We have all of that done. We're gonna press continue. Freezing. Okay, when the food or material being frozen is cold enough, the following screen will appear. Your vacuum pump will automatically turn on. So now it says it's freezing, and then we'll go into a drying process. Drying process takes about 2 hours. Okay, now we're gonna load our bread load. So it says load trays into freeze dryer, close drain valve. Let's go ahead. I just have some previously frozen Dave's Killer bread. Ooh, it's gonna be cold. There we go. Wow, this is fun. Okay, so when you close it, turning it once closes it, but you have to turn it twice to fully close it. So now that we have done that, we're gonna press continue. And now it's freezing. It's currently at 19 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm not entirely sure how long this is gonna go. I think what it does is it analyzes it on its own, but it says that it's currently freezing. Okay, so I'll let you guys know. I have a little error code. Unable to achieve vacuum. Is drain valve securely closed? Let me check. Yes. Okay, let's see, because this is not working. Vacuum pump turned on. All right, it says vacuum freezing now, so I'm hoping it's working. Let me just double check that the pump is in fact on. The vacuum pump was off. Now it is vacuum freezing. This is a lot louder than I anticipated. This might have to be moved into my office, but it doesn't seem to be bothering our dog, which is good. I just don't know how long the vacuum pump runs for. It says vacuum freezing. I don't know. Okay, so it just kicked back on. It's at negative 29 degrees right now. It's vacuum freezing.
It is loud, but it's not that bad. It was louder a second ago, so it's calmed down a little. We're in a vacuum freezing state now, and I'm unsure how long this part will take. So far, it's been running for 2 hours and 22 minutes on its bread cycle. I do see some condensation coming off of it. I'm hoping that's normal. Somebody tell me in the comments that that is okay. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, open drain valve to vent. All right, drain valve, here we go. All right, that's done. Process complete. No defrost. Let's take the trays out. Okay, we're gonna open it up. Let's see what happened. Tray's not hot, but it's warm. Let's see. This is our dry bread. That's dry. That, my friends, is bone dry. Okay, now we can make something fun. This is the ultimate test. You guys, you have to look at this. Now it's time that we bag up our goodies. As a first round, I'm learning some valuable lessons already with the blueberries and the mandarin oranges. They did turn out fine. However, they did stick to the bottom of the pan pretty significantly. I'm just gonna eat them as snacks right now. This is the pasta sauce that I made. This looks fantastic. I'm gonna buy some of those silicone mats so that it's easier to take the stuff off. But let's just pop it out. Thanks. Whoa. Gonna have to break this up a little bit. Do singular batches at a time of specific ingredients, meaning do a batch of only pasta sauce, or do a batch of only feta cheese or only fruit, because the moisture level on different things will vary. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the Mylar bag. Honestly, we could grind this up, make it into a powder, and then use it in cooking, but for now, this isn't going to all fit into one bag, so let's put some of these bags. So we got one bag. So I think what I'm gonna do is batch create things on the weekends, because this thing is pretty loud. It got a little annoying to have to listen to, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna wash these trays. Some of the other things that I also created was the pineapple, which looks delicious. I'm probably just gonna eat those today. I did feta cheese. We had a huge box of it that was gonna go bad. So I just poured it all into a tray. And now I'll have feta with my pasta sauce. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Okay. I'm gonna go get a spatula. There's a couple accessories online I'm gonna buy, which will include an extra set of trays so that I can freeze a batch in the freezer while one is in the freeze dryer. Apparently that's really great for reducing the time. I also want to get the little silicone trays. This feta cheese turned out great. I did put a little paper towel at the bottom to try and absorb any fat that was going to come off of the cheese, and it seems to have done its job well. It's very dry. All right, so let's bag this feta cheese. If I'm going to batch create, I think on the weekends, I'll pick one thing during the week to batch. So maybe I make mashed potatoes and I just make a whole batch of mashed potatoes, and then maybe I make fried rice and we'll do fried rice one weekend. All of that feta. I'm so excited. So now we just vacuum seal this. Oh, we do need the oxygen absorber. So let's put that in. The goal for us and why we bought this was to reduce our waste. We buy a lot of really great quality organic food. Sometimes we just can't get through all of it as a family. This is going to allow me to freeze it and reduce our waste. Very excited about that. I'm curious to know, are you guys interested in freeze drying? Do you see yourself buying one of these? What do you want to use it for? And what you plan to trial on your first freeze drying batch?